Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you guys are doing well and you guys are staying safe with this pandemic that's keeping us inside the house. I'm here today to discuss and talk about community message that I'm asked to give. I'm here to discuss about the importance of self-care. So what does it mean to have self-care for yourself? Have you ever asked the question, do I really need time for myself to take care of myself, to be able to take care of myself? Well, there are a couple of things that you can do. Number one, in order to avoid burnout, you have to be able to take care of yourself. And how is that done? Well, there are multiple things. Number one, you have to take a look at the fact that, are you good with your spiritual, mental, physical, and also emotional? Combination of all of those requires for an individual to be able to take care of themselves. These are the elements that are used for an individual to ensure that your life is in balance. Let's take physical health, for instance. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had suggested that in order for a human body, there needs to be balance. They need to consume 1/3 water, 1/3 air, and then 1/3 food. And not just that, but we also want to discuss and talk about how physical health also implies to staying active at home. Now, there are a couple of things that you guys can do. During the month of Ramadan, I know it is challenging. It is challenging for all of us, so we're all in this together. Now that we're inside the house, remember, when you are praying, that in itself, bowing down and putting your forehead to the ground, that is a form of worship, but at the same time, that's a form of physical activity. What you can do is that during Ramadan, you can also do a program inside the house. There's a lot of videos that are out there having individuals, families, do some form of activity inside the house. You can take at least 10 minutes to 15 minutes out of your day and do something for your physical health by getting some blood flow into your brain, into your body. That helps detox and cleanse you physically, because the more you stay at home and the more you're not as active, what ends up happening to the body is that the body starts getting sore. Once you get sore, your body starts hurting. If you move too much, you have a likelihood of tearing tissues, muscles. So you want to avoid all that. So that's number one. Staying active, ensure that you are currently physically active and moving on a day-to-day basis, even if it means simple as going up the stairs and coming down the stairs a couple of times a day. Perfect, do that. Number two, let's talk about the spiritual aspect of how we can take care of ourselves in Ramadan. When it comes to self-care, make sure that you are in connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing the following. Doing your prayers, making du'as, you are constantly reading the Quran, you're reading the English translation of the Quran, and fully understanding, what is the purpose of us as Muslims? What are we supposed to do in our lives here today? So for that, I would suggest that, it's important for all of us during this time of quarantine to build a schedule for ourselves. Have a calendar, schedule certain hours or certain times for ourselves to be connected to Allah. And that is very easy and very simple for you to do, and that's something you can do just specifically for yourself, because it's an individual practice. It's between you and your Lord. Number three is emotional connection. So how is that done? Emotional connection is also known as social connection. The way you can do that is by ensuring that you are still keeping kinship with your family members. You're keeping kinship with your friends, with your community members. You can obviously go out and still visit your families, that are self-quarantining inside the house. That they are not going out and they're not working. If there's proper measures taken there and that both parties are safe, then you can go and visit them. But if you know that your parents or your siblings are working, try to avoid, going to their homes because you also want to stay safe, right? Because self-care also talks about the importance of keeping good health. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, our health and our body is like an amana. It is a gift that, that has been given to us by Allah. So we have to take care of it very well. So in order to keep that emotional connection with our friends and family members, And for ourselves, most importantly, as human beings, we are, creatures that need social connection. We need to be emotionally connected to other individuals. So for that, give time to your family members. Even when you're in the house, make sure you are speaking and you are giving time to your loved ones, your spouse, your children, your parents. These are very important times for parents and children and for the family to really get to know each other even more. A lot of families aren't even spending as much time, even though they're inside the house. We see that, kids or parents, they work outside, and then when they come to the house, they avoid their children or their family members. So that's a disconnect there for individuals, because as human beings, we have to be respectful of ourselves and our families and communities. Go on Zoom sessions, have Zoom invites, invite your neighbors, invite your friends. Talk to them once, every 2 weeks. That is okay, that's not a problem. Again, emotional connection is important for self-care. And lastly, we want to talk about mental health and how you can help your mental capacity. The importance of mental health is on the rise, but in order to keep your mental health stabilized, you need to ensure that the other elements in your life are fully functioning, and that's your physical, your emotional, and your emotional health. In order to help your mental health capacity, make sure that you are creating a system that is in place for you to operate on a day-to-day basis. Your mental health allows you to be able to go out and reason with other individuals. One thing that can be done is within the house, you can play chess, pick up a book, read a book, do activities that require critical thinking, do meditation inside the house. Try to meditate. It's good for your physical and for your mental health and spiritual as well. That's something that is it's a common practice in today's world. So allowing your mental health to take a break, for it to be put into practice. So these are elements, and one of the other elements that you can include in keeping good mental health is to give yourself some time, give yourself space. It's important for your brain to have, or to be able to rest well. That includes being able to sleep. You're getting, doctors usually suggest that an individual should sleep anywhere from 7 to 8 hours a night. So make sure that you're getting that. Make sure that you're eating the right foods. You're staying away from foods that are not good for the body, for the health, for your mind. So please ensure that you're taking care of your whole body and your physical health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health through this. And this is why it's important that we as Muslims, we practice self-care, because self-care will prevent burnout. And that is my message. I hope it helped, and I hope everybody, Ramadan Mubarak, and may Allah bless every single one of us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.